What a crazy week in the NFL Super Wild Card weekend. There's a lot that happened, and there's a lot that we need to talk about because whether it be two teams blaming the refs and one set of those refs being sidelined for the remainder of the playoffs, whether it be absolute destruction among teams falling like crazy, whatever it may be. I don't know what your feelings are on this, but we're going to talk about it here. Let's get into it. Another video. My name is Cameron Simpson, and as you probably have been able to tell, we've taken a couple weeks off. Stuff has happened. I coupled a couple days off, and that's because I was surprised with an amazing trip down into Florida. So I was out for a couple days. This whole weekend, I did watch. Actually, I think I watched every game, Super Wild Card weekend, whether it be on an airplane or actually in the hotel room. So I watched every game except for one. So that's that. I still get to watch the games, but I was out because of that. So I do have 3 videos this week. You'll have one today, one tomorrow, and one on Friday. So that's stuff to look forward to this week. And so I'll put my full-fledged prediction video out tomorrow with the playoff board. We'll have that video out then. But for now, what's up, everybody? Let's talk some football because I think that's something we need to talk about, right? Why not? Let's do it. Let's talk some football. So, with that, we'll go through every Super Wild Card game. We'll talk about it, and we'll talk about what fell out from it. So, the first game that comes up on my list here is the Raiders versus the Bengals. The Bengals take this one 26-19 against the Raiders. But it does not come without its full-fledged and share of, I would say, controversy. And Raiders and Bengals game, the referees had this very controversial call that maybe cost the Raiders the game. Nevertheless, we'll get to that in a second because that headline this weekend. The Bengals win, Joe Burrow, his team, first Bengals playoff win in a very, very long time. I forget when the actual stat was. I think it was in the it was in the 90s, I want to say. So first one since the 90s. So that's awesome for the Bengals. For the Raiders, not so much. And part of that being the fact that they think they were robbed and by the officials. And being robbed by the officials is always a tough feeling. And they believe they were robbed. Let's talk about it. There was a play. Joe Burrow was making his way to the right. He appeared by the officials to step out of bounds. They blew the play dead. They blew their whistles. They blew the play dead. As they were doing that, Joe Burrow already threw the ball. It was caught in the end zone, clear as day touchdown. Now, the controversy comes with that key whistle. The play's reviewed, as all plays are. Did he step out of bounds? Well, let's determine that he didn't step out of bounds. And they overturn it. They call it a touchdown. Well, here's the thing. Anytime a whistle is blown in the National Football League, it is in the rule book, clear as day, no matter what. Even though the officials messed up, blowing that whistle, the play is dead. So as soon as they blew that whistle, the ball, wherever it is, the ball is dead, play's dead, nothing happens. Nothing can come after that whistle happens. And that is clear as day in the rule book. And the officials still overturn that. They can't do that. No matter what, they messed up, sure, messed up big, but they cannot put any emphasis or sympathy towards the team. They blew the whistle. They messed up. That's that. You know, that whistle means that's it. We're done. Play's dead. So the NFL has sidelined this crew. It is normally a good crew. Very good officials, but not in this game. They sidelined them all for the remainder of the playoffs. Now, take this with a grain of salt. As always, they may have already been sidelined for the rest of the playoffs. We really don't know, but nevertheless, the NFL made it a point to let everyone know that they will not be officiating another playoff game. We don't see that happen very often. We don't see the NFL really pressure anybody into saying, no, we're not doing this anymore. That's that, and it is what it is. They don't normally say that. They normally support their officials to decisions, and they didn't do that here. And so that means the NFL did totally agree with everyone. They said this was terrible. We will indeed support our teams on this one, not our officials. They don't normally do that, but is what it is for those officials on that case, because that's a tough one for them. Oh, here we go. The Patriots and the Bills. The Bills take this one 47-17. This will not be one of the only blowouts we see. We'll see 3 of them, in my opinion, that are surprise blowouts. Look, the Patriots were not ready, and that is clear as day in this game. They played atrociously terrible, and the Bills played as the Bills should play, as the better team, the team that runs very well, and that is what they did. They played good. The Patriots did not. And so there you go. That's my stand on this one. The New England Patriots, to me, Mac Jones didn't play good. The defense did not play great. And both teams really, were pure opposites. 7 for 7 for the Bills. The Patriots could not get them off the field. The defense played atrocious. The offense couldn't produce very much. They scored some touchdowns, but could not produce to where they needed to go. The first Patriots team to make it to the playoffs after Tom Brady, after Tom has left. Tom took care of business. He played the Eagles. Different story, of course. But it is a stepping stone that then proves to more points of emphasis on Bill Belichick and the Tom Brady saga and all things in between. It points places. It goes places. This is something that is to be followed. Mac Jones, is he the next guy in New England? I don't know. I don't think a lot of people know. I don't know if a lot of people really think he is. Nevertheless, it is what it is. There's nothing we can do about this. Mac Jones is not played great. Bill Belichick didn't have his team prepared. And not to put this on the counterpart, but Josh Allen and the Bills, they followed through. They did what they needed to do. And that was good on their part because they took care of business in the way that they needed to and moved themselves on. Our next game was the Eagles and the Buccaneers, 31-15 on the Bucs, handing the Eagles adios. I watched this one on an airplane, and this game was interesting. It was an interesting game. And nevertheless, Tom Brady and his Buccaneers played very well football. They played good football. They played what they needed to do, and they did what they needed to do to win this game. They didn't win yet, but they played pretty good. Give them the credit where credit is due. They played good. They did what they needed to do. They took care of business. Let's be honest, who really thought the Eagles had much of a shot? Not many people did. So, great win for them. The 49ers and the Cowboys are this next game that I want to talk about. And the 49ers win 23-17, knocking what many people called as a Super Bowl contender, a team that had a legitimate chance out of contention, and that would be the Cowboys. See you later, Cowboys. Have a great time wherever you are. Peace. We'll see you later. Not indeed what they wanted to hear. I can tell you that right now. It's not what the Cowboys wanted to hear. All of them. McCarthy, I just don't like him. But anyway, they are blaming the officials. I disagree on that. Let's talk about the play which is in question. But let's first talk that the Cowboys played like absolute trash in this game. 49ers, Jimmy G, they did what they needed to do, and they played fine. Actually over-exceeded my expectations, because who would have thought this actually would have happened, and they played very well. And I got to give them credit for that, because they played extremely well and did what they needed to do. Now, the Cowboys, on the other hand, Dak Prescott looked absolutely horrible. He looked really bad in this game. And towards the end, he did turn it around, but for the most part, he didn't look great on this one. Now, this game, if you're wondering where I watched this from, it was in Washington, D.C. on a layover. It's only supposed to be a 10-minute layover. Ended up being almost a 5-hour with a winter storm and delays. But I was on the plane watching this end of this game, third and fourth quarter, as they were de-icing the plane. And I was watching it all unfold. And then I watched this play live when the referee ran across the field 50 yards to place the ball, marked the ball, and time ran out. And this was after the idiot, Dak Prescott, ran the ball. Like, who runs the ball? At the end of the game, with 12 seconds left, who runs the ball? He ran it. He slid. 5 seconds on the clock. Then the Cowboys, place the ball, get lined up. The official's like, you can't do that. You have zero authority to place the ball. He then goes place the ball, runs out. They snap it a second too late. Game over. Niners win. How is that the officials' fault, in my opinion? They have to place the ball. It is part of the game. And they also have to give the other team time to make their substitutions. So you need to let the other team substitute, which the official in that case was trying to do. And you guys need to get set. They got set after they went to place the ball. They have no authority to do that. So that's that. That's really it for them. There's no chance in the world that they would be able to make that play happen. Why would you run? That's on Dak. Unless it was McCarthy's call. It was on whoever made that call. If it's the offensive coordinator, adios, you're gone. But if it was McCarthy, I would fire him too. That was terrible. Steelers, Chiefs. Chiefs, give it to the Steelers. 42-21. Steelers, Roethlisberger is probably his final ever game. Great job for him and his team. Decent season, sneaking into the playoffs. Really, I would say sneaking into the playoffs. But for the Chiefs, it was a good game as well. They were able to pull off what they need to pull off, and they're becoming a threat. Guys, they're becoming a real threat for the AFC. They're playing the Bills next week. It's going to be a tough game. I actually really haven't figured out that prediction yet. But the Steelers, on the other hand, are a team that has played decent football, really bad, I would say not the best year, turned it around towards the end. They are completely deserving of a decent year, but the Chiefs are a better team. And that's all I can say about this game. Mahomes, his team, they look sharp. They look really good. And for the Steelers, there's nothing to be ashamed about. This team was better, and they definitely showed it. Now, to last night's game, the Monday night game, the Rams versus the Cardinals. 34-11, Rams destroyed the Cardinals. Destroyed them, all over them, pick in the end zones, pick all over. At one point, ESPN was showing a graphic of only 28 yards for the Rams. For Murray, not the Rams. Jeez Louise. Guys, that was an absolute butt whooping by the Rams on a team that they probably shouldn't even have been in contention for to beat by that much. Let's be honest here. The Rams, the Cardinals, whatever you want to say, the Cardinals have been an amazing team all year. I'm glad I didn't bet on them. I'm glad none of you hopefully betted on them to make it to the Super Bowl, because at one point I think we all thought they were going to do that. Guys, we were wrong. We were very wrong. They were not doing that. So that's that. And great for the Rams. I'm rooting for the Rams now, because they were my Super Bowl pick from day one. Let's go Rams. Come on. Let's go Rams. They have a date with Tom Brady and the Bucks. They got a date in Tampa with the Bucks. It's going to be a good game. Let's go Rams. But anyway, that's it for me today and my playoff game reaction. Tune back Friday. We're going to make some predictions. Once we do that, then we'll be on our way to the divisional round. We'll have, we're getting closer and closer to the Super Bowl. And then after the Super Bowl, we're in NASCAR season, guys. Can you really believe that? I can't. Have a great day. Guys, have a great day. Enjoy this week. Bye.